My name is Arnaldo Inocentes. I was born in 1970, and I'm 43.
Okay.
Thank you.
And where were you born?
Manila.
Manila, Philippines?
Manila, Philippines. That is correct. I was born in Manila, Philippines.
Okay. I gotcha. How long did you live in the Philippines before you came to the U.S.?
17.
So, till you were 17 years old. And how did that come about?
My parents moved us here. We're 9 children, and being the second to the youngest, my sisters and my older sisters and my older brother went to the States for their education, and one of them got married here, and eventually, my parents would come here every year to visit the grandchildren. So I have a brother in New York and a sister in Seattle, and uh, my aunts and uncles were in San Francisco and also in Seattle. So every year, my parents would come and they'd visit the grand. They would see, New York, San Francisco, L.A., visit friends, and blah blah blah. And during the Marcos regime, when things were not getting better for our future, and then they decided to apply for residency because when my sister got married, they were permanent. My sister petitioned them. The rules were different then, so but they were smart enough to petition the minors because that's the only way to bring us here. So when they became citizens, eventually it was easier for us. Our immigration got bumped real quickly.
So it's more difficult now.
It's more difficult now. I mean, as you can imagine, it's just everybody wants to come to the States again, as always. And it's just harder for my relatives to come over.
More expensive.
More expensive too, of course. And, with national security and what's happened globally, it's just a different climate altogether.
Yeah. And
Not as welcoming.
the Abu Sayyaf, I think they are, the Muslim group in
Abu Sayyaf,
Philippines.
yeah. Because the Philippines is an archipelago of 7,000 islands, and there are three big islands, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And the Mindanao region is the way down south. That's close to Indonesia. So there are more Muslims. We're about, I would say, 15-20% Muslim, and the rest Catholics, and majority are Christians. So I'm from Luzon. I'm from the heart of Manila. I'm in a suburb called Mandaluyong, which is like, if you say Seattle, it's Bellevue, something like that. Oh yeah, I mean, living in an you've been to Asia. Have you been to Asia? Yeah, so you see the traffic, the people, everything is dense, and you come here, and it's like the first time we came to Seattle, it's like, where are the people? Because they're all out in the burbs, right? And of course, we lived in Kirkland, which is really quiet. I think there was a time I couldn't really go to sleep because it was too quiet. I'm used to the noise of the tuk-tuks coming by, and the cabs, and people on the street. So all of a sudden it's just like, so ooh.
That is noisy, right? It's
Not as
quiet,
noisy.
It's noisy.
It's
Did you have
yeah.
that? Yeah. I had that when I got off the ship.
I knew I was gay, and I had relate. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I think my parents were still hoping, but after 2 years, I joined the men's chorus.
So it was right away.
Radio
Pretty much.
1989, I joined the men's chorus.
What was the men's chorus then? Was it as big as it is now, or what was it?
I think it was a big chorus relatively, because it's about, I think when I joined there were about 125 or 75 to 125, because it varies. People join the holiday concert because it's fun and nice, and the Pride concert. And at that time, we did the spring concert, and it's all classical. So that's when people drop off, and but I joined just out of a lark. I knew I needed to socialize to find my community, but I also was so deeply rooted being Filipino because that was our generation. You have to be proud to be Filipino, and for me to immigrate was like, I understood that it's an opportunity for me. I knew what my parents were doing, but at that point, leaving your best friends and your cousins and the surroundings you're familiar with was, I was a little rebellious. I've always been rebellious, you know me. So that was that. So joining the men's course was because my cousin, Benji, she and my aunt knew I was gay, and they said, "Oh, come on, just join. We'll tell your mom." So when I joined, my mom was not really pleased at all because I have to go Monday night rehearsals, and I didn't have a car. I was busing it. So talk about commitment, and also my how would I say this? Uh, yeah, so I didn't have a car. Oh, and my mom was just saying, just focus on getting a job first, and you know what parents always say.
Right, right. And so for you, obviously being a part of the chorus, other than the social aspect, was more than just uh, being a part of a chorus. So because of the commitment, you bussed it, you did all that. What does singing mean for you?
Oh, I've always known I could sing, even though I was a kid. My mom sang. There's a lot of music in the house, but not all of the siblings. All the siblings can sing, I suppose, but not all the siblings have taken it this far. Um, for me, singing at first was just fun, and I knew I could join a chorus and be part of it, and a way for me to be able to express myself. Um, but I didn't think really I would be doing what I'm doing now. I mean, it was not part of the plan. The plan was to live a normal, whatever normal is. You know, I mean, drag was not even in the question. That was a big no-no for many reasons during that time, and also for my upbringing. So, um, yeah, so now it's just, so the chorus has really changed my life. The gay choral movement has changed my life.